Championship. We're minutes away from throw-in. Let's head then to our commentary team for this clash. Nikki English, but first, Mike Finnerty.
Thanks, Grania. Welcome back to Thurles. Welcome back to hurling country. We're here to watch a game of old school knockout championship, and it really is hard to beat it. You can feel the tension in the air all around Semple Stadium. Cork and Dublin going through their final warm-up routines. Almost time to take to the stage. Let's check the starting 15s. Beginning with Dublin, and Matty Kenny, he's made 3 changes to the side, pipped by Kilkenny last weekend. Number 18, Jake Malone, he's a late replacement for his cooler teammate Sean Moran at midfield. And in the full forward line, Ronan Hayes and Eamon Dillon, both rewarded for their impressive impacts off the bench at Croke Park. They break into the starting 15, and they'll line up alongside top scorer Donal Burke, who starts at 13 for the 3rd game in a row. In fact, all of this Dublin lineup, bar Hayes, Rush and Moran, are starting their 3rd game in 3 weeks. Conal Keeney named on the bench. Kieran Kingston has reacted to last week's Munster Championship defeat to Waterford by making 5 changes to his starting team. Into the backline come fit again Colm Spillane from Castle Lions at number 3, and Luke Meade is recalled at midfield, with wing-back Christopher Joyce losing out in the reshuffle. Up front, Robbie O'Flynn, who missed last weekend's match due to suspension, he's recalled at wing forward, while the full forward line has been overhauled, with Jack O'Connor and Declan Dalton promoted from the bench. Cork are captained by top scorer and corner forward Patrick Horgan. Well, it is a dull and overcast afternoon here in Thurles. We had a light shower of rain a few hours ago, but no wind to report, and the floodlights on as well for the last 40 minutes or so. Nikki English alongside me, and the first thing you remarked on, Nikki, when you got here earlier was the quality of the pitch. You're very impressed with how Semple looks today.
Yeah, because it has a lot of work over the last week. You know, there was a football match and the hurling match here last weekend between Waterford and Cork, and actually the pitch seems in better condition today than it did for that game last Saturday. So it's a great credit to Dave Hanley and the grounds people here in Thurles. And you know, this is a game that's, you know, hard to call. As you say, it's knockout. You know, Cork have everything about them has been questioned over the last week. Their pedigree really. No work rate last week. You know, that was expected to improve when Kieran Kingston came in as manager. It didn't last week. Will they come on for the game? They've made a few changes. Jack O'Connor is an exciting player coming in. You know, Dublin on the other hand, they're on the up a little bit. Big win against Laois. You know, at several stages they looked beaten by Kilkenny last week, but they were still able to, you know, to recover and get right back into the game and put Kilkenny to the pin of their collar. So I'd say Dublin would see themselves as being able to progress further in the qualifiers. And the big questions really are about Cork. What are they going to bring here today? Are they going to bring, you know, a greater work rate, fight for the jersey and fight for the cause? And that's the big question that we need to see answered here.
Well, so many statistics floating around during the week, and the one that really jumps out, Dublin haven't beaten Cork in the championship since 1927, and they come in today, the Dubs, as rank outsiders to break that long wait for a championship win against the Rebels. And I know that surprises you as well, Nicky, that Cork are such hot favourites to win, given what we saw here last Saturday.
Exactly, based on what we saw last Saturday against Waterford. You know, a lot of their play was really clueless. You know, they kept pucking ball in on top of Tadhg de Búrca, who was completely unmarked for most of the game. But I think worryingly, their work rate just wasn't improved as would have been expected under Kieran Kingston. So I can't see how Cork are hot favourites. I can see how it's going to be close. For me, it's a toss of a kind, but I couldn't make Cork hot favourites based on what we saw last week.
Well, one thing we know for sure, they are both fighting for their championship lives today. This is a last chance for one of them. Man in the middle, John Keenan, as we pause for Oran Navian. Well, the Dublin captain, Chris Crummy, he won the toss, and in this first half, Dublin will play from left to right, down towards the town goal. The scoring goal here in Thurles so often on big championship Sundays. It is all or nothing for Dublin and Cork, and away we go. This All-Ireland qualifier at Semple Stadium is off and running. First shot at goal falls to Cork and Luke Meade, and that is a dream start. Luke Meade back in the team, back on the score sheet.
Yes, and quick score to settle Cork. Patrick Horgan is playing centre forward and being marked by Owen O'Donnell.
Well, high-scoring matches, the feature of the hurling championship this season. It's taken less than 15 seconds for the first, and there is the second. Well, both Cork and Dublin tearing into this, and Danny Sutcliffe levels the match.
Danny Sutcliffe played very well against Laois, impressive last week, very athletic, and that'll be a good point for him.
Well, let's hope that is a sign of things to come. Two scores inside 30 seconds as Herring down the wing goes Robbie O'Flynn back in the Cork forward line, but second best to that first delivery as Owen O'Donnell gets on the ball for Dublin. So impressive in the second half against Kilkenny. Man who got his hurley to that ball was Donald Burke, but Cork have tidied it up, and that's popped away by O'Mahony, Cooper and O'Mahony again. Nice interplay. The shot fired in from just inside the 65, taken by Alan Nolan. First touch for Dublin's experienced goalkeeper, beaten 3 times by Kilkenny last weekend. Good strong hand from Sutcliffe, who's started very impressively. Shoots this one from 65 metres, and Dublin lead. 2 for Sutcliffe, 2 for Dublin.
Great point by Sutcliffe. See the way he took the ball in his right hand. Great touch, and then created the space to score.
Terrific score from the 2013 All-Star. Robbie O'Flynn heads for open country, support from Cooper. 2-man up for Cork, but that's too high for Jack O'Connor. First wide registered by Cork.
The idea was good from Cooper. Jack O'Connor had called for it on the inside of his man, and just a bit too high was all.
So Alan Nolan from St. Bridget's surveys his options and elects to go long. Sutcliffe jumps with O'Mahony. First to react to the break, Shamie Harnedy. Cork will be looking for much more from him and most of his colleagues. Shane Kingston, one of their best performers against Waterford, gets his first shot at goal, and the sides are level.
Kingston was very good last week, and playing the inside line now, playing full forward tonight, even though he's wearing number 11, and Patrick Horgan is centre forward at the moment.
This time Nolan lofts it down towards Chris Crummy, underneath it with Downey. Sutcliffe picks the break. Man getting his head up there was Donald Burke. Eamon Dillon to aim at, runs all the way through instead to the Cork fullback Colm Spillane, recovered from injury and starts on the edge of the square. Poor first ball though, possession back to Dublin.
Yeah, poor clearance from Spillane. He had much more time to hold on to that and pick a pass.
Line ball taken quickly by Rian McBride, but perhaps a little too quick as Luke Meade releases the unmarked Harnedy. Plenty of open road in front of him. He shortens the grip and he fires Cork out in front. Great score by Harnedy.
Yeah, Matty Kenny's not happy with the space being allowed there to Luke Meade around the middle of the field, and having a chat there with Rian McBride. You see Matty.
Well, it's been a very free-flowing and high-scoring start here in Semple. Great take by Crummy. I saw him described this morning by Anthony Daly as the best half-back in Dublin. Well, he's not doing a bad job at centre-forward either.
Certainly didn't do it in the last couple of matches, and he's played in regularly for Lucan up in the forwards, and he's just very powerful, very athletic, and will cause trouble for Downey.
So a first shot at goal for Donald Burke, hit 12 points up in Croke Park last Saturday night. By some distance he is Dublin's top scorer, and he's just levelled the game here at Thurles.
I watched him in the warm-up taking frees from the sideline, and he never missed one. 6 or 7 of them in a row.
Short puck out this time by Nash to get Cork moving in the right direction, but possession won back by Dublin. And here's Sutcliffe. Rides the first challenge and the second. Support here from Cian Boland. Just got a little too tight though there for Dublin. Cork had men back, and one of them is Mark Coleman. Support outside from Tim O'Mahony. Needed to think on his feet there and did well. Down into Declan Dalton's patch of ground. Support from Horgan. The Rocks, O'Sullivan helping the linesman there with his decision, and it goes Dublin's way. The Rock not happy.
Yeah, I think it was a hard enough one for the linesman to call. Probably just came off Pat Horgan's hand.
Caught in by Conor Burke. Out it goes again, and once more the decision goes Dublin's way. Well, it's their third game in 3 weeks, so match practice certainly won't be an issue for Matty Kenny's team. That win over Laois followed up by a disastrous first half really against Kilkenny last Saturday night. But worth remembering, 16 points down early in the second half. They got back level and were unlucky in many ways, Nicky, to be squeezed out in the end.
Yeah, it was a great performance in the second half, and you know, when they got Conor Burke as a sweeper, it really suited them. Danny Sutcliffe has started very well here tonight.
That's nicely done by Mark Coleman. Handled more ball than any other Cork player against Waterford. 22 possessions he had a week ago. This is Sean O'Donoghue. He's got a lot of pace. Pops this hand pass short, and Robbie O'Flynn will stretch his legs and moves up through the gears, shortens the grip when he hit the 65. That's a terrific score from Robbie O'Flynn.
Robbie O'Flynn, of course, was suspended for last week, and he's a big addition. You see his pace there, and he was gone clean through when he got the chance.
Well, Robbie O'Flynn showing Cork what they've been missing in recent weeks, serving that suspension which ruled him out against Waterford. But the Cork forward line looking sharp so far. They go long this time, runs through Kingston and all the way on to Jack O'Connor. Paddy Smith is trying to put the squeeze on. Kingston does well though, picks it on the move. Now he's isolated, and that ball flies across the face of goal. First man to react is a Cork man, it's Harnedy. There too is James Madden, and that is flagged as a wide ball.
Half a chance there for Shane Kingston. He did well to create it, but just tried to, I don't know whether he was trying to score it or trying to cross it for a finish, but missed the target anyway if he was going for a goal.
Again, Nolan goes down this right-hand side. Coleman read it well. And here's Luke Meade back in the Cork team this afternoon. Into the space, and plenty of it there is in front of Jack O'Connor. Kieran Kingston giving him his big chance, and he's just left the corner back for dead. There's a goal chance here. First shot blocked, second one tucked away by big Declan Dalton. Well, he is the goalkeeper turned poacher, and Declan Dalton crowns his first championship start with a goal.
Yeah, he got a second bite at the cherry. In fairness to the Dublin backs, they did well, but it was well created by Jack O'Connor. Cork showing great pace on that wing. Jack O'Connor and Robbie Flynn really have the legs on their markers at the moment.
Well, Alan Nolan looks the worse for wear right now. Declan Dalton not unscathed either, but he's such a big man. He gives that Cork full forward line a totally different dimension, and he strikes in the 9th minute, and it all started with that pass from Meade.
But watch Jack O'Connor here. Paddy Smith, you think he has him boxed off there, but look, watch the legs here, and he's gone straight through, draws the full back into Dalton. In fairness to Alan Nolan, you know, the first effort was good. He put Declan Dalton back out into the other two backs coming back in. You know, see that hit there, put him back out into Smith. And in fairness to Alan Nolan, he's shook up himself after, but you know, ultimately the goal was scored, and probably no more than Cork have deserved on the run of play. They've looked much livelier tonight than they did against Waterford last week.
Well, he's all there, Declan Dalton, and Alan Nolan felt the full force of the big Cork full forward. Both of them back on their feet and good to go. But that goal has given Cork some breathing space. They struggled to create a single goal-scoring opportunity from play here against Waterford last weekend. They were so toothless for so long, and yet it's taken them just 9 minutes here to hit the Dublin net.
And certainly an area that they were working on, and they wanted to create more goal chances, and you know, there's probably 2 already in the first 10 minutes for them.
So Donal Burke to try and reply instantly for Dublin. Straight as an arrow. 2 for Burke. 3 between them.
Yeah, the foul was committed by Luke Meade. Luke Meade has started well for Cork in the middle of the field, and Cork on top in that area and in their half-back line.
Again, it's a no-nonsense delivery from Nash, looking for the run of Kingston. Well, Nash is trying to keep Dublin guessing. Cork mixing up those puck-outs as much and as often as they can. Cut in by James Madden, finds McBride. This is Donal Burke. Shoots instinctively from out around halfway, but that's well wide. So this time Cork will build from the back. Good delivery. Down that middle channel to Kingston. He has runners left and right. He takes on the shot, and Shane Kingston rather hits the target. That's much more like it from Cork. Well, 2 for Kingston, and it's a 4-point lead.
What a superb touch from Shane Kingston. It actually slightly got away from him, but he was able to twist his hand and catch it and then create the space for a point. Great touch.
Great take in the air by the Cork wing back Tim O'Mahony. That half-back line just taking that step forward under the Dublin puck out, and it's making all the difference. Conor Burke took a moment there to get that ball under control. Telegraphed the pass, read by Horgan. Horgan's going to take on the shot, looking for the spectacular score. This one is away and wide. 12 minutes gone. Cork lead by 4. Let's head down to pitch side and hear from JJ.
Just a Dublin response to that Cork goal, and Conor Burke went back sweeper straight away as well. On the Cork side, Mark Coleman now is picking up the ball, and he's sweeping for Cork. But even before that, they went man-on-man, 15 or 15 for the first 10 minutes. But even that, Mark Coleman has been on and mounting the ball. And if he's sweeper now, is going to be, like, the Dublin guys are going to have to pick him up.
Thanks, JJ. Well, as you can see, the Cork forwards are finding pockets of space here and there. That time it was Harnedy, and he was never going to miss. 2 for him, and too easy for Cork.
Yeah, there was nobody near him, and Mark Coleman had the presence to be able to find him.
So Cork building a lead nicely here, and Dublin still stuck in second gear.
The work rate from Cork in their forward line is much more impressive than it was last week. I know here Jack O'Connor, he fouls Paddy Smith, but at the same time he's putting the pressure on him, and Cork were not doing that last week, and that's a big difference for them, and a big improvement on last week.
Well, all of Cork's tally so far have come from open play. 4 of their 6 forwards have scored as well. What a difference a week makes, certainly in this first quarter. So many questions asked of them over the last 7 days. They were really outfought and outthought here against Waterford, but they look like they mean business.
Yeah, and Spillane is an addition back in the full back line. You know, he's a help to them. Very strong player, and you can see he's able to win the free there.
Anthony Nash drills it long down towards Alan Nolan's goal. Well taken in the air by Conor Burke. This just his 3rd championship start in his first season. Looking very comfortable every time he comes forward. Paddy Smith gets his head up and delivers it long and diagonal. Crummy was just in front of Downey, but behind Coleman. And Mark Coleman again showing his value as the Cork sweeper, as Meade chips it down that right wing, but this time nobody on the same page, and it's cleared away as far as Cian Boland. Boland, another very quick, pacey half forward, gets a little time, a little space, and Cian Boland with a superb finish. That's his first point.
Did very well, and Conor Burke settling into the sweeper role for Dublin now, and actually finding players up the field. And Boland, after getting a good first touch, that's a good score for him.
Possession secured by Robbie O'Flynn and drilled in by Tim O'Mahony. Just came off the hurley of Jack O'Connor. That gave Paddy Smith enough time to work with. And Jake Malone now trying to feed that inside line. Hayes is there, so too was Colm Spillane. And once again the Dublin forwards come off second best.
Yeah, certainly Cork defence is much better than it was last week, and very much on top of Dublin here at the moment, and Spillane playing well full back.
Well, that was very cleverly done by Conor Burke from St. Vincent's to get the hurley in ahead of Jack O'Connor, and he was fouled. But he has really been one of the good news stories for Dublin in this championship so far, Conor Burke.
Yeah, beautiful dispossession there, and Jack O'Connor fouls him holding the hurley. But Cork now again are going to have to be a bit more careful with the ball, because Conor Burke is settling into that role as sweeper and reading the play well.
Bill Cooper, his attempted clearance blocked down, and Eamon Dillon gets on the ball. So impressive off the bench against Kilkenny. He's been quiet so far as Dublin try to find a loose man. It's Donald Burke. He hasn't got much room to work with. The snapshot from Burke, and that's a fantastic score from Donald Burke. It's his third of the game and the best by far.
Class score from Donald Burke. Beautiful striker of the ball, but Dublin worked it well. Back to Danny Sutcliffe, who was strong enough to hold on to it and then be able to find a nice pass out to Burke. But a beautiful striker of the ball.
Well, that is the perfect way for Dublin to end this first quarter, as referee John Keenan signals the first water break of the afternoon with that Declan Dalton goal, all that separates the teams. We're going to head back down to the sideline now and check in with JJ and Shane.
Cheers, Mike. JJ, a frantic high energy at the start of that match, exactly what we expected. John Mullane described Cork this morning a bit like Manchester United, a former hurling superpower that don't command fear anymore. But that performance, that start, that's a Cork of yesteryear.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable response. In regarding, we obviously knew what they were talking about during the week as well. Kieran Kingston was all about a performance, a team performance all the way, and that's what he's getting. To a man, they're actually hurling very well, they're using the ball very well. Mark Coleman is working as a sweeper as well. He's playing a lovely ball into that full forward line as well. The array of scores now has been very good for Cork as well, but Dublin are still in this game, 1-6 to 6 points, so it's all to play for now.
Absolutely, you know, there's not much to separate them, but can Cork press on now? Can they maintain this energy?
That's the big thing now. After 10 minutes against Waterford, they missed a few scores, but it should have been 9 or 10 points up, or 9 or 10 points to 5 up.
Yeah.
After 10 minutes. They didn't do it. They kicked on. Waterford kicked on instead. So the big response from the Dublin team over the last couple of minutes, got back into the game. Conor Burke has come back in the game as well. So up to this Cork team to up their intensity again.
Good stuff. I'll be interested to see how this does pan out. Mike.
Thanks, Shane. Nicky, this is shaping up nicely, isn't it?
Yeah, because Cork, you know, had a period of dominance there, but actually in the last couple of minutes before the break, Dublin have upped their intensity as well, and you know, they're getting a little grip around midfield themselves there now for the last few minutes.
Well, it may be unfolding in front of a deserted Semple stadium here, but it just feels a little more like championship today. No safety net. The losers go home, the winners, well, they're out again next weekend in the next round of the qualifiers against one of Tip, Wexford or Clare.
Yeah, just a slight push in the back by Owen O'Donnell on Pat Horgan, but Pat Horgan hasn't been in the game much for Cork. This is really his, you know, he's one strike at ball which he drove wide, but O'Donnell is doing well on him. O'Donnell is a very good player for Dublin, and maybe Horgan isn't as effective out the field as he would be in full forward line.
Lovely strike from Horgan. That's a goal and 9 now for him in the championship, and it restores Cork's 4-point lead. James Madden down the line towards Cian Boland. He has Damien Cahalane for company. His younger brother Connor among the Cork subs today, as Shane Kingston from Douglas gets on that ball but gives it away rather cheaply, and Danny Sutcliffe can try and make something happen here just inside the halfway line. It's hanging in the air, it's dangerous, it's Dillon, just too much of a stretch for Eamon Dillon. The catch opened up some possibilities, but he was under pressure and he just couldn't swing the hurley, and the chance gone as quickly as it appeared. But for once, the Cork defence caught napping.
Yeah, great catch by Dillon.
Here's Jack O'Connor at the other end. Free in. O'Connor fouled. He's been busy, he's been lively, and he gets what he came for.
Yeah, Jack O'Connor has great pace. Watch, he's every one of them under pressure when he gets on the run, and Conor Burke couldn't just stay with him there. Fouled by Paddy Smith. Here's the catch at the other side. Eamon Dillon, he just can't get Sean O'Donoghue, who does well, stands his ground well, and Eamon Dillon just can't get the hurley on it. Any touch would have been a goal.
Well, in the blink of an eye, Cork swept down the field, and Patrick Horgan knocks over his second. The Cork captain just keeps that scoreboard ticking over, and the lead out to 5. Alan Nolan dropping it down in the general direction of Cian Boland. Runs all the way through again, though, to a Cork man, Coleman, looking to thread it up the line to Kingston, who's putting the pressure on one or two of the Dublin backs, and Horgan nips in to help. Owen O'Donnell chasing back after him. Horgan does really well to pop that pass out through the side door to Robbie O'Flynn. Good recovery by Dublin and James Madden, and the Ballyboden cornerback gets it away to Conor Burke, and the danger cleared. Sliding in to try and win that ball was Boland, but couldn't manage to make it stick. And once again, it's that man Coleman. Loose clearance, gobbled up by Rian McBride. A lot of bodies packed into that middle third. Man trying to dig it out is Sutcliffe, aiming for Dillon. Referee is going to bring it back for an earlier foul on the Dublin forward, Danny Sutcliffe. But you can see what Dublin are trying to do. They're trying to isolate Dillon in there on the edge of the square. Yeah, and also trying to avoid Coleman with the ball, who's standing right, mopping up everything. But Danny Sutcliffe, again, in fairness, him showing great strength and able to get on the ball and have a shot at goal, or moving the ball in towards Dillon. So he really has been impressive so far. So Donal Burke taking great care. Same technique, same style, and same result. 4 for Burke. And he just keeps Dublin in touch. Matty Kenny up on his toes. Concerned, I'm sure, with the impact of Mark Coleman, the Cork sweeper in particular, in these first 21 minutes. Game on again. Back there covering for Dublin is Paddy Smith. Manages to smuggle it out as far as McBride. And here's Conor Burke once more, but just delayed the hand pass a fraction. That allows Cork to nip in and win it back again. Kingston, just one man up top. That's Declan Dalton, the goal scorer. Cian O'Callaghan is the Dublin defender, picking him up. And back goes Danny Sutcliffe to help. And all's well that ends well for Dublin. Jake Malone, nice first touch.
Great work by Cian O'Callaghan in a one-on-one situation there.
Burke again, filling in as playmaker, looking for Dillon. But once more, it's that man, Mark Coleman, who, a la Tadhg de Búrca here last weekend, is making it look very easy. Dalton, the intended target once more. He's giving the men out the field something to hit, something to aim for, and Declan Dalton with his first point to go nicely with a goal.
Declan Dalton's a great striker of the ball, and once he gets it on, gets a shot, he's very, very accurate. But again, it's Coleman at the back. He's snuffing out everything at this side that Dublin are throwing at him, and then he's able to find very, very accurate passes as well.
Ball broke kindly there for Patrick Horgan. This is Damien Cahalane. He's been known to chip in with the odd score or two in big games over the years, but not this time. That's away to the right. Yeah, that was a waste, well off the mark from Damien Cahalane. He would have been better off trying to recycle it and use the ball a bit better than that. So it's Cork who are on a winning streak of 8 successive victories over Dublin in the championship, who are setting the pace here. Donald Burke held up and fouled by Robbie O'Flynn, but the work rate from Cork very, very different today, Nicky.
Exactly. I know he fouls him, but at least he's there, and he's a presence in front of Donald Burke. If Donald Burke could have got away the ball, he had a free man out on his left-hand side. Okay, they have the free, but it's still certainly much better work rate from Cork.
Conditions absolutely perfect for free takers. That was right on the 65, and that's now 5 points and counting for Donald Burke from the Fianna. He is almost single-handedly keeping the Dubs in touch.
And all his frees are carbon copies, really. Beautiful strike.
Lovely take by Robbie O'Flynn, the man from Erin's Own. Sets his feet, takes aim, and fires over another spectacular score. 2 for him, 110 for Cork.
Robbie O'Flynn, great take here in front of Jake Malone, and then he's gone. Great pace, and then steadies up and takes the point.
Well, there's a lot more cut to Cork so far. First 25 minutes sees them build up a 5-point advantage. Scramble for possession. Man coming away with the ball was James Madden. Popped out to the far side of the field to Conor Burke. Low delivery this time. Again, it's Eamon Dillon, the moving target in that full forward line. But he's finding it very difficult to lose Sean O'Donoghue. They're joined at the hip every time that ball is pumped in. And again, O'Donoghue comes out on top.
Cork defence very much on top. Sean O'Donoghue had a good battle last week with Desi Hutchinson, and he was impressive that day. Even though Hutchinson for Waterford did plenty of damage, but he's very, very close on him. And Dillon did well when Dillon caught the ball and had the goal chance. So Cork defence very much on top, and Coleman finding very good out balls.
Nice sideline cut from Mark Coleman. Nicely picked by Donald Burke, who has 13 on his back but is operating out in that midfield battleground. Nicely taken by Ronan Hayes, trying to spin away from Spillane onto the left-hand side. And that's a lovely, tidy finish. First point of the day from Ronan Hayes.
Much better from Dublin and Ronan Hayes. Great take, and an angled ball away to miss the sweeper Mark Coleman from the back by Dublin. So that's what they need to do more of.
So 4 of Dublin's forward line have now scored. And 4 between them, as Conor Burke has all the time in the world to get his head up and pick out his pass. And once more, he'll look for Hayes. He's got a really good left hand. Driven backwards by a couple of Cork defenders. Donald Burke's shot half blocked by Meade. Luke Meade bringing the sort of energy and work rate expected of him in that number 9 jersey. Coleman again making a nuisance of himself. And Meade is the first man on the scene to pick up the break. Free out to Cork, and they get what they deserve there.
Meade has been very good. He got the initial block on Conor Burke when it looked like, Donald Burke was going to get the point. Meade got the initial block down, and ultimately brings it out of the ruck and away. And we haven't seen much of Chris Crummey either for Dublin. So like Dublin need their big players in the forward line particularly to get more possession. And a lot of it is really dependent up there on Danny Sutcliffe here at the moment.
Well, that's statistic underlining just by and large what an open game it's been so far. Stoppage here. Sean O'Donoghue looks like he needs some running repairs. That will give everybody just a chance to take stock. Kieran Kingston grabbing a quick word with Diarmuid O'Sullivan, and you also saw Ger Cunningham there in your picture, Cork selector, former Dublin manager. But it really is hard to overstate, Nicky, isn't it, how much pressure is on Cork tonight. They really have to deliver.
For sure, this team has really been questioned all the week, and even since last year from the defeat by Kilkenny. Kieran Kingston coming back in, you know, it's a lot of pressure on him. I'm sure they'd have to be happy with progress today. You know, their forwards have looked sharp and quick on the ball. They've been good in defence, but I suppose when you look at the scoreboard, they're only 4 points in front, and on the balance of play so far, that's really not enough.
Well, discipline was also an issue for Cork last weekend. They gave Stephen Bennett the opportunity to shoot 12 points from frees in that Munster semi-final. He took them with both hands, but so far they've restricted Donald Burke to just 4 shots at goal. And from open play, Dublin just struggling to put scores on the board.
Yeah, Sean O'Donoghue is looks like a dead leg or something. He looks like he's under pressure here, and Cork maybe about to make a change, and Sean O'Donoghue would be a big loss to them there at the back. He's been outstanding.
Well, he's going to be a big loss, all right, the cornerback from Inniscarra. Already Stephen McDonnell from Glen Rovers, very experienced player. He's in. He was ready to go a couple of minutes ago, and there he is. So it's a like-for-like replacement in many ways, but O'Donoghue's departure robs that Cork full back line of a lot of pace, if nothing else, as the free is eventually struck by Horgan and tails away for Cork's 5th wide.
Huge free from Patrick Horgan, just the wrong side of the post.
Well, Stephen McDonnell has gone straight in on Eamon Dillon, so it is a straight swap in that sense. As we tick into the last 5 minutes of normal time at the end of this first half. Ball breaks towards Chris Crummy, but lovely flick away by Mark Coleman, read by Tim O'Mahony, and he uses his power to drive out of the Cork defence, but a little too casual. Sliotar won back by Dublin, won back by Owen O'Donnell, and you can see what that meant to him and to Dublin. They needed somebody there to step in and take control, and O'Donnell did.
O'Donnell is a great player, very, very strong. Look, he's driving into the Cork defenders, and you know that ball should have been cleared by Tim O'Mahony. He had plenty of chance to kick it out, or hit it out to the right hand side, and he's given an easy point here to Donald Burke.
Well, Cork really have themselves to blame here as Donald Burke stands over this free. He didn't hurl with Dublin last summer, took some time out to travel, but he's back with a bang, and he's now hit 6 points this evening.
He's really natural forward, and that's what, you know, Dublin need. They need someone who's able to score naturally and maybe get goals for them, and he got it against Laois when he gets half a chance. He's an outstanding player.
Burke on the ball again, half blocked down, batted clear by Spillane, and a first touch for Stephen McDonnell.
Yeah, and in fairness, it's Luke Meade again with the half block down. He's been very active around midfield.
Nash goes long, touched on by Harnedy, flicked on to himself, but 3 Dublin backs converge on him. They were hunting in a little pack there. Conor Burke unable to get it clear, and Harnedy atones for his first mistake. O'Mahony had time there to steal a glance and pick out the pass to Shane Kingston. Drifting around from centre forward, Shane Kingston shoots, and Shane Kingston scores again. Brilliant effort from Kingston. 3 from him, all from play.
Super score by Shane Kingston. You know, he's become very reliable when he takes a shot on goals now. He's much more composed as he's got a little bit older. But Cork, again, in that instance, using the ball very, very well.
That was nicely done by Declan Dalton, and Harnedy knocks it out of play off the boot of Cian Boland.
Yeah, it'll be interesting who Declan Dalton going to hit it quickly.
And he finds his man as well. Quick thinking by the Cork full forward. Meade trying to spray it across towards Kingston, intercepted by Jake Malone, and here's Donald Burke again. Dara Gray Ball spilled by Madden. Just seemed to take his eye off the ball. That allows Robbie O'Flynn to get the shot in, and the umpires like it, and Cork hitting a little bit of a roll now. 3 points for Robbie O'Flynn. Cork have gone 5 clear. Let's head back down to pitch side and hear from JJ.
Yeah, just a quick comment on Robbie O'Flynn and Luke Meade. The ground that these guys are covering, they're getting hooks and blocks in. Everything that the Cork players weren't doing last week, they're doing it very, very well this week.
Thanks, JJ. That's now 110, by the way, from open play from Cork in this first half. And Robbie O'Flynn, who celebrates his 23rd birthday today, is absolutely flying over on that right-hand side.
Absolutely flying. As it's an interesting Cork, not Kieran Kingston, and they're not happy with this decision in Paddy Smith's favour. And a lucky job he just got it, because Jack O'Connor was away.
John Keenan giving the Dublin man the benefit of the doubt, as Conor Burke drills this free over towards Ronan Hayes. Picked by Crummy. Turns away in disgust, though. That shot blocked by Rob Downey, who's having the better of that individual battle. And here's Rob Downey again. Down this left-hand side towards Horgan. Knew exactly what he was doing, but so did Conor Burke. Now Owen O'Donnell. Boland felt the full force there of the Cork man, Tim O'Mahony. He took man and ball as the ball is driven forward again towards Dillon, but returned with interest. Well, it's coming out as quickly as it's going into that Dublin full forward line, time and time again. Conor Burke, nice, neat, close control. Now Danny Sutcliffe, there to link the play, but that's brilliantly done by Declan Dalton. Came on the blind side of Danny Sutcliffe to hook him and prevent him from putting Dublin on the front foot. Dug out by Crummy. Space on the far side for Donald Burke to work with. Burke shoots on sight, and that's away to the left and wide. Again, second miss from Dublin.
Again, you see the work rate of Cork much different from it was last week. And the new players that they've brought in, Declan Dalton getting a hook in there. Luke Meade has got several hooks and blocks, as has Jack O'Connor. And, of course, Robbie O'Flynn is working really hard and has popped up and got his 3 points. So Cork a much more accomplished outfit than they looked last week against Waterford.
Declan Dalton patched up and ready to go again. Game restarts. We're into additional time at the end of this first half. 1 minute gone. We'll have at least 2 more.
Yeah, Shane Kingston just dropping the ball there. That's not his first time tonight. His couple of good balls came to him, and he's not happy with himself there, I see him.
Go in front, Paddy! James, in front!
Cork very good value, I'd say, for a 5-point lead, really. You know, it's on the balance of play, you'd expect it to be a bit more ahead, I'd say, really.
Well, Cork, for the majority of this first half, playing the game on their terms as Mark Coleman cuts it in. One back there by Paddy Smith. And the Clontarf cornerback wins his free as well. But the Dublin defence has been under the pump for long stages in this opening half. And Cork's backline down at the other end, looking very sharp today, looking very well organised. In contrast, another high ball for them to deal with, and again the ball drawn to Coleman like a magnet.
Yeah, much like Ty DeBorca last week when he was against Cork. Cork defence very, very comfortable and well set up.
Bill Cooper left the sliotar behind there, retrieved by Dublin, but they turn possession over as well. Tim O'Mahony hugging this left-hand sideline. But that's a very aimless ball, too long for the inside forward line, and that will be chalked down as a 6th Cork wide. But considering they had, was it 13 on the board at this stage last week, they've been much more economical and efficient.
Yeah, from memory, I'd say they had about 6 in the first wides in the first 10 minutes last week.
This time Alan Nolan goes short. Conor Burke. Dublin still trying to figure out their best route to goal, and once again they've lost possession. That's Patrick Horgan standing in at right half back, and that is some score. Well, he really is a class act, and despite the fact he was standing inside his own 65, he let rip and over it flew, and that just sums up what we've seen from Cork in the first half.
Yeah, if you're going to lose possession to any Cork player, it better not be Horgan, because he's a fantastic striker of the ball, great point, and no more than they deserve, probably 6 points lead at half-time on the balance of play.
So it's half-time here at Semple Stadium in Thurles. It's Cork who lead Dublin 113 to 10 points. We're back with analysis next.
Well, it's half-time in Thurles, and it is Cork who lead by 6 points. Ollie, you were watching that first half with me there. I mean, Kieran Kingston said before the game he wanted to see a performance. He's certainly seen that from Cork today.
Yeah, we see a lot more intensity, a lot more work rate out of the Cork players, really closing down the Dublin attack. And I think Cork, their defence, I feel, is really on top there. Mark Coleman, he's gone in a sweeper there, because Dublin have reverted with Conor Burke going a sweeper. So Mark Coleman is doing a great job getting on a lot of ball there, and he's a real heads-up player. When he's leaving the defence, he's always scanning the pitch to try and give a good ball, and he's a great striker of the ball as well, which is key for any sweeper. So big changes in the Cork team, and definitely a change in work rate and a real change in attitude this evening from Cork.
OK, well, let's look at some of these main points from the first half. And I mean, the Cork forwards, they seem to have found their scoring touch, Ali.
Yeah, they have, and it's great. We mentioned this beforehand. I think that's Luke Meade there with an absolute great score. Again, Luke Meade, he gets onto this, supporting his backs, and then plays it into Seamus Harnedy. We spoke about this, a lot of space here for Seamus to run into, and then, you know, no better man to put it between the sticks. Great score from him there. And this is Robbie O'Flynn, another guy that's been brought into the team today. Now, he probably would have been playing last week. I think there was a suspension to be served, but that's an unbelievable role and strike. It was absolutely a brilliant score. And Robbie O'Flynn, he's got 3 points so far. And here's another guy, Shane Kingston, scored 4, I think, the last day, and has 3 got again in the first half today, and that's another great score from Cork. So definitely Cork working harder, great spread of scores across the forwards, and the defence, they're coping really well with that Dublin attack.
Let's just talk about the work rate, because they were heavily criticised for this, Ollie. It's much improved from last week.
Yeah, we see another new guy in there, Declan Dalton, with the yellow helmet. He came back out and hooked Danny Sutcliffe. Now, Danny was probably a little bit lax there, but Declan Dalton made up serious ground to get a brilliant hook in there. And again, this is played out from Chris Cummey. Cork players going across, putting pressure on, and a wide ball there. So definitely in them ruck situations, them, you know, a dirty ball, whatever you want to call them, I think Cork are really getting stuck in this evening. And I'd say Kieran Kingston and the management team had a serious talk with the Cork players, and just probably felt that that's where they were lacking last week. From a Dublin point of view, I suppose, here's Danny Sutcliffe, won a good ball, and a great score from Danny Sutcliffe, and he really started well. You know, got to, I think, the first 2 scores for Dublin, and he's one player that's really, you know, driving it on for Dublin. Himself and I suppose Donald Burke are the 2 guys up front that are causing really any problems for the Cork defence. That's Sutcliffe again, nice ball out to Donald Burke, and a lovely point from play. So, you know, Dublin in the forwards, they're living off scraps. Cork's defence has really tightened up, and I think they've tightened up on the discipline as well. I know Donald Burke has got a few frees, I think maybe 3 or 4 points from play, but definitely Cork doing way better today, and I'd say they're happy enough at half-time, and well worth, I think, their 6-point win, or 6-point lead at half-time. OK, well, let's head down then to the touchscreen and to Jamesy. What have you made of that first half, Jamesy?
Yeah, listen, you know, really, I suppose, credit to the Cork management. I think we're going to identify some of the things that maybe they've done differently, but certainly a big improvement in Cork's intensity, work rate, physicality, and so on. Now, we're going to start with the Cork goal. And I suppose before the game against Kilkenny, you know, we identified that, you know, Dublin obviously left loads of space at the back and paid the price for it, and they went orthodox at the start. Now, there's Conor Burke, who we thought would be sweeping. He wasn't. And what's inside him is an ocean of space, okay, in front of that Cork inside forward line, you know, for the ball to go into. And what Cork have on the field this evening with, I suppose, Robbie O'Flynn and with this guy, Jack O'Connor, is pace, and pace in abundance. And this guy really goes past Paddy Smith. Pause it here, just run it on a small bit. Here's Conor Burke again. He's not in a position to get back and make a tackle. You know, we expected him to be playing as a sweeper in here to maybe cut off that goal threat, but he's not. and O'Connor leaving Dublin defenders in his wake. Perfect ball into Jack O'Connor. And again, if we just highlight, you know, Conor Burke here again, if his starting position is deeper, maybe he's able even to, you know, stop Declan Dalton getting the pull into the net. But Dublin didn't go with the sweeper. Cork, with the pace they have in their team, exposed it, and great work from the two guys in attack this evening, Declan Dalton obviously and Jack O'Connor. Now, at the other end of the field, I suppose the Cork puck out, you know, under real pressure last weekend, and they've clearly gone to school on it, and big changes. So Anthony Nash finding Tim O'Mahony, and the big difference is last weekend he was going short to his fullbacks, and instead of the ball coming from that line, the delivery is now further up the pitch and a much higher percentage chance than of the guys at the other end being able to win it, and there's, you know, much more judicious use of the ball. Again, lovely ball to Mark Coleman, and again, this guy is a quality player. Again, as Ollie said earlier, this guy will scan the field. The delivery again, it's not back here tonight, it's from up here, and a beautiful ball in front of Shane Kingston. He's out in front, and again, in the hand, plenty of time to turn the defender and pop the ball over the bar. Now, Nash has also gone long, but, you know, again, it's not dropping ball down on top of these forwards. Now, I'm going to just pause it here and just roll this on. Now, just watch this ball. This ball hits the deck into Robbie O'Flynn's hand, and again, this guy has wheels. 3 points from play. He's really made a difference this evening. So credit to the Cork management for going to school on the things that they needed to correct. Dublin, you know, have to get a grip on that Cork puck out. They've got to stop the delivery from Mark Coleman and the Cork halfbacks, because they're teeing up those inside Cork forwards, and they're punishing them on the scoreboard.
Jamesy, can I just ask then, when you're highlighting there about the sweeper system and the Conor Burke goes back after about 10 minutes or so, it's kind of when the damage is nearly done. So what were the reasons that Dublin didn't start with Conor Burke as sweeper?
Well, I think, again, probably looked at Cork last weekend and saw maybe that, look at the Cork half forwards, maybe weren't coming that deep, or Cork were maybe playing with maybe, you know, more bodies inside. But we saw for that goal, the Cork half forward line and Patrick Horgan, the guy you expect to have in deep, were way out the field. And they isolated Jack O'Connor and Declan Dalton inside. And as I said, O'Connor, his form in the challenge match that Cork had played before the Waterford match apparently was excellent. And they chose not to start him. And, you know, that surprised some people. But, you know, what an impression he's made tonight. Now, he's had a couple of other chances that he hasn't taken, but clearly his pace is a live threat, as is, you know, Robbie O'Flynn in the half forward. And so I'm surprised. I mean, we all felt that, you know, Conor Burke as a sweeper, you know, really tightened things at the back for Dublin last weekend, but they paid the price for not starting with it, and they've reverted to it now, you know, probably denying Cork maybe some more goal opportunities, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in the second half.
Because tactically as well, I mean, against Kilkenny last weekend, they put Conor Burke back as a sweeper after Kilkenny had done a lot of damage. So I'm just wondering, in a tactical sense, have Dublin, do you feel, maybe made the wrong choice starting of the game, or are they still very much in it?
No, I think they're in it. I think up front they have a number of players. We spoke about Chris Crumby before the game and the impact he was having, you know, against Kilkenny and against Laois in the previous rounds. He's someone that really needs to come into the game now for Dublin, and Eamon Dillon as well. We saw Eamon Dillon got a half a chance. He caught a great ball in front of the Cork goals, but had to swing one-handed, and the Cork defence got smothered it, so they got it out. So they're two players I think that Dublin really have to get into the game. I don't think they're going to panic yet. 6 points down, living off scraps from a forwards point of view. I think there's going to be some stern words from Matty Kinney to the Dublin forwards in particular. The Dublin defence are under serious pressure, because there's time and again there's players, you know, coming out of the back there for Dublin or for Cork with no real pressure.
Okay, Ollie, we'll leave it there for the moment, but let's head to Thurles and to JJ and Shane and get their thoughts in that first half.
Cheers, Grania. Well, JJ, 6 points in at a half-time, but credit must go to Kieran Kingston and his management team. The changes he's made, they've certainly worked. Yeah,
look, all the questions that we've asked of Cork before the game, they're answered every single one of them. Their work rate, their effort, their speed, their scoring from the forwards. 5 or 6 forwards are after scoring from play there as well. Phenomenal turnaround from this Cork team. Look, they're in a great position now, but a huge second half for Cork to go ahead now. So if they want to show intent for the All-Ireland Championship, they have to go on and win again the second half. You know, so it's going to be a huge game for Cork.
Okay, certainly will be an interesting 35 minutes. Let's get back up to our commentary team of Nicky English and first Mike Finnerty.
Thanks, Shane. Welcome back. Good timing. Both teams ready to go. No changes on either side is what we're hearing, as our referee John Keenan lets them at it. And Dublin in this second half, they'll play from right to left down towards the Killiney end here on a nice autumn evening in Thurles. particularly so for Cork and their supporters. Things going to plan so far, but here's a chance for Dublin to hit back. Here's Sutcliffe going right through. Nash with a flying save, and across to cover came Damien Cahalane to tidy it up and get it clear. But the first warning shot of the second half fired by Dublin and Danny Sutcliffe. Nash equal to the challenge.
Yeah, by far Dublin's best player on the night, Danny Sutcliffe, and nearly got through for a goal. Nash did well to come out and block it there.
Well, Cork reeling off 3 points without reply at the end of the first half to open up some daylight. Here's a chance for Shane Kingston to extend their advantage. And again, he's given far too much latitude, far too much time, and that's now 4 points for Shane Kingston.
Again, good work rate from the Cork forwards, though, in contrast to last weekend, and James Madden was dispossessed, and the ball came to Shane, who had an easy point.
That's now 1-12 from play from Cork, as Donald Burke takes on Coleman and O'Mahony. Still Burke, and across comes Spillane, who cleans him out. John Keenan has blown for a free. Now, he hasn't signalled just yet which way it's going, but Colm Spillane bringing that run from Donald Burke to a stop one way or another.
Yeah, certainly Donald Burke had a chance of a goal, but watch as he goes down, he's gone low, and then Spillane comes in with the elbow, and that's definitely a yellow card. There you go.
Well, that was a very heavy, high hit by Colm Spillane. The free will be to Dublin. Does it look like John Keenan has shown a card to the Cork full-back? And if he hasn't, he's very lucky.
Very lucky, and actually Donald Burke had a good chance of a goal. Actually, he just lost control of the ball before Spillane had come across on him, and he had made his way in. And I think this stage the linesman is going to point out, I think it's a Fergal Horgan is going to point out to John Keenan maybe he's a yellow card.
That looks like Fergal Horgan, all right. Liam Gordon is the other linesman, and a word in the ear of John Keenan, and now he is looking for the Cork defender Colm Spillane, and I don't think he can have any complaints, Nicky. Well, he probably has by the looks of it.
Colm Spillane is protesting his innocence, that it was his shoulder, but
I think Donald Burke would certainly beg to differ. There he is, the Dublin corner forward. But a first glimpse of him in full flight, in near the Cork goal. He played so much hurling out the field in the first half. Pops over the free, 7 now for him.
yeah, the Dublin scoring rate is going to have to improve from play. Only 4 or 5 points to play in the first half there. Now, they've had 2 runs on goal, both Sutcliffe and Donald Burke, so that might be a taste of things to come, but that's what they'll need. They'll need to get much more scores from play, and quickly.
Ball delivered by Damien Cahalane. Dara Gray getting tight on Harnedy. Picked up by Luke Meade. Again, he's the link man. Harnedy has peeled away cleverly inside. He just drifted into the space, and Shamie Harnedy scores on the run. 3 points for the Cork wing forward.
Been much more involved as well this week, and Luke Meade in the middle of the field again, well on top, and getting a great chance for Harnedy, an easy one.
Dublin get the ball moving quickly. That's Cian Boland, and that's a terrific reply. Cian Boland from the St. Oliver Plunkett's Owen Rua club knocks over his second. So the teams go score for score at the beginning of this second half. Harnedy again trying to make the most of that. Unable to get it under control. Cleared away by Rian McBride. Eamon Dillon underneath it. Stephen McDonnell alongside, and McDonnell uses all of his experience to win it, hold off Dillon, and win a free for good measure.
Eamon Dillon is going to need much better service of the ball than that from Rian McBride. Very high and hanging in the air, giving the defender Stephen McDonnell every chance to get on it.
A stoppage here. Shamie Harnedy is going to need some attention. But like so many of the Cork players who underperformed against Waterford, Harnedy has stepped up tonight.
Yeah, he looked very laboured last week. His running and everything was under pressure, but this week much travelling a lot easier, getting his scores and working a lot harder than he did last week, and having a much greater impact. You see there the challenge with Jake Malone there earlier on, and I think he went over on his ankle.
So Harnedy just taking a moment. We can tell you the top possessions in the first half, interestingly. Mark Coleman, the Cork sweeper, 19 possessions for him, and Conor Burke, his opposite number in the Dublin ranks, 19 as well. And I suppose, Nicky, that just sums up the modern game.
Certainly does. You know, when teams play sweeper, they're on the ball, they're a lot, and it's a question of what kind of delivery and who they can pick out in front of them, and probably Mark Coleman had the slight edge on that end of the game.
Harnedy recovered, and Anthony Nash from Kanturk with the free. Delivers it over to this right wing. Robbie O'Flynn was in the general vicinity, away by Owen O'Donnell. Once more Eamon Dillon will make a run, and once more unable to get there. Just hasn't had things go his way so far, the Dublin inside forward. Nash goes low. There was a tug on the jersey of Harnedy there by Dara Gray. It was spotted by John Keenan. Cork will get the free. Well, so many of the Dublin backs under pressure and struggling to keep tabs on their men.
Yeah, and you know, there's plenty of Dublin players that really haven't been involved at all. Dara Gray, that's nearly the first time he's been mentioned tonight. Chris Crummy, who's a really important player for them, seems to be lost at centre forward. He's not really getting on the ball at all. So Dublin need changes, and they need to get these guys on the ball and get much more possession.
Well, that's a very unlikely miss from Patrick Horgan. Scored a monster point from play just before half-time. That one goes a-begging. Remains a 6-point lead for Cork. Wexford, Tip and Clare all waiting in the wings. The winners here this evening out again in a week's time. Here's Crummy. For once, he loses his marker, and nothing wrong with that finish. Chris Crummy, right over the black spot. 5 between them.
Yeah, he's just switched there actually with Ronan Hayes and gone into the full forward line, and you know that might work because the deliveries in there have been too high really, but Crummy is strong enough to work and get on it.
Robbie O'Flynn just drifted across the field and hits that beautifully over the bar. Well, he's delivered 4 points, all from play. The man from Erin's own. And that's a fantastic score to restore Cork's 6-point advantage.
Yeah, great response to the Dublin score at the other end, and Cork has been the pattern since the start of just able to score a bit easier than Dublin all through.
Mark Coleman from Blarney. Lovely, neat, close control and balance as well. The former All-Star really has it all. That ball went out of Owen O'Donnell, the Dublin fullback. Cork leading here since the 7th minute, and right now keeping Dublin at arm's length quite comfortably.
Yes, very comfortable and able to get the easy scores just to keep themselves ahead of Dublin. And Dublin struggling in many areas of field, but particularly in the scoring stakes. They're making very heavy weather of trying to score.
So Declan Dalton from the Father O'Neill's club knocks this right across the field. Luke Meade is chasing after it, and you don't see that every day.
No, it probably looks bad, but what he was trying to do was really the right thing to do, and Luke Meade had made a great run. The ball was just too well hit, actually, is what happened.
Rian McBride, that's a lovely clean strike, but he's gifted it right back to Mark Coleman, who has been lord of the manor all evening long back there in the Cork defence. Now Bill Cooper from Youghal forward towards Harnedy. The Dublin player there chasing after it was Dara Gray. Loses out. O'Flynn again. Well, Robbie O'Flynn wants to shoot from everywhere and anywhere, and he just can't miss. 5 points now for O'Flynn.
Outstanding play from Robbie O'Flynn. He's all over the place, and he's great pace when he gets on the ball and gets clear to shoot, and he's been superb. 5 points in play.
Well, he really is making up for lost time. And the Cork lead now beginning to open up a little. Ball popped into the corner diagonally, looking for the run of Crummy. Started his move from the edge of the square, and the umpire happy. White flag, 2 for Crummy in this third quarter, and he looks rejuvenated since he went into full forward.
Yeah, the move to full forward of Chris Crummy is really working for Dublin. He's getting on the ball and he has the power to be able to hold off Robert Downey.
A laser-like puck out from Nash to Cooper. Horgan out at centre forward just to survey the scene a little. Gibbs takes the return. Patrick Horgan, beautiful score. He's a class act in full flight. Another one for Horgan.
Yeah, Cork's confidence is high now. They're able to create space and get these easy scores.
So Dublin making a change as we watch Patrick Horgan push Cork a little further ahead. It is number 22, Davy Keogh from the Thomas Davis club, who's coming in. Made his championship debut against Laois a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and was very busy as well. Probably didn't score as much as he would have liked, but very busy and well able to get possession and get on the ball, very direct.
And it is a very disappointed looking Eamon Dillon who's taken off. Made such a big impact off the bench against Kilkenny, but didn't happen for him today in Thurles. Well, Dublin have earned a reputation for being unpredictable in the championship. Good enough to draw with Wexford and of course beat Galway last year, but turned over by Laois of course last summer on the back of that, as Anthony Nash deals with that high delivery.
Yeah, he did well with it. It was a dangerous delivery from Alan Nolan.
Let's head down and check in with JJ at this stage of the day. JJ.
Just a Cork response to Chris Crummy going in full forward. Damien Catalan has gone in back in to pack him up or pick him up. Rob Downey did follow him back in, but he got 2 points off of Rob, so after switching there, Damien Catalan is going back in to mark him, do a man-marking job on him.
Thanks, JJ. And just picking up, Nicky, on that point about Dublin being unpredictable, you never really do know what you're going to get, and it's been in a similar story so far.
Yes, certainly, yeah. And I suppose, but in some senses, you know, a lack of scoring power really has been their downfall in many matches, and that's hurting them here again tonight.
Luke Meade, Bill Cooper, and now Harnedy. A Dublin player unable to get their hand on the ball in that passage of play. Harnedy, I think, felt he was fouled there, but nothing doing. And the ball given away rather cheaply in the end. Well, Matty Kenny must be wondering what he can do from his position to get Dublin going. He does have a few options on the bench. Conal Keeney and David Tracy among his substitutes. And you get the feeling, Nicky, we'll see one, if not both of them, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. They need to change something here, because Cork are looking comfortable, and you know, in the modern game, 14 points with 48 minutes gone is not good enough to win any game.
Well, somebody switched off, and Harnedy gallops through, totally unchallenged, to knock over his 4th point of the game. Well, that was extremely slack in the Dublin defence. And Harnedy takes a handy score. Crummy looking to rise above Damien Cahalane. Links with Cian Boland. Boland trying to cut inside the shoulder of the defender Coleman. Half cleared by Cahalane. Davy Keogh boots it as far as Boland. Knocks it into the mixer. And Tim O'Mahony there to take it away for Cork. Well, Dublin were threatening to stitch a move together, but in the end it just ran out of steam very quickly.
Yeah, Cahalane gone back on Crummy, and he had the strength just to hold him up for that split second.
So 20 minutes to go here at Semple Stadium in this knockout All-Ireland Championship qualifier. And right now the smart money would be on Cork, as Dublin get ready to make a change. Sean Moran from Coola is stripped and ready. Shane Kingston looking to feed it through to Jack O'Connor. He's the only one of the Cork forward line who hasn't scored yet, as Dara Gray gets it clear, but not for long. Cooper. Cork men queuing up for it. One of them was Meade. O'Flynn. Lovely first touch by Jack O'Connor, looking to set the record straight, and he's still waiting for his first score. That's now 8 wides for Cork.
Yeah, a bit of a waste after great work by Luke Meade and Robbie O'Flynn. And again, Robbie O'Flynn really been impressive tonight. You know, he chose not to shoot there, but gave a very smart pass into Jack O'Connor, who had acres of space.
So Matty Kenny makes that change. It's a Coola man for a Coola man. Moran for Malone. And just like Eamon Dillon, Jake Malone unable to make the sort of impact he was hoping for. A second change being made by Dublin as well, by the looks of things, and it is Liam Rush for Ronan Hayes.
Yeah, so the Dublin they need something. They need really to change something here quickly, get scores on the board quickly. So Liam Rush looks in good shape, and you know, he might be the man to make an impact here.
So up steps Donald Burke from Na Fianna. He had 116 on the opening night against Laois, and that's now 8 here this evening against Cork. 7 between them. John Keenan is going to blow for the water break midway through this second half. Well, at half-time, Cork led by 6. Now they're 7 in front. Let's see what JJ and Shane have made of the third quarter.
Cheers, Mike. Well, JJ, 7 points in it. We saw Dublin's near miraculous comeback last week, but probably too little, too late, even if they do up the tempo by the end of this match.
Yeah, look, they're after emptying the bench there as well. Liam Rush came in and won a great ball in the air there as well. So, look, they're going to have to get a lot out of him. I see Mark Shute stripped ready to go there as well. I'd say we'll see him action now in the next couple of minutes. But, yeah, look, I can't see this Cork team being better at the moment. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're playing through the lines. When a Cork hurling team gets a lot of confidence, they're a very, very hard bet. But Robbie O'Flynn is given an exhibition wing forward. He's named wing forward, but he's all over the field. Seamus Harndy's as well. He got 4 points in play. So I can't see Cork are on top in too many positions for this Dublin team to go back. Bar they get a goal within the next few minutes after the water break. If they do, game on. But if they don't, Cork will see this out.
Again, it comes down to work rate, I suppose, and they've led from the 7th minute. This is going to be teed up, I suppose, as a 70-minute performance.
Yeah, it is now, and they're very, very impressive as well, all over the field too. They're newcomers. You see the Dublin newcomers from today: Ronan Hayes, Eamon Dillon, Jake Nolan, all took off. But then on the other side, the Cork side, you see the 5 changes that Kieran Kingston made. They're given an exhibition, every single one of them. They're absolutely brilliant, so they're all working as well. So it's a big, big plus for this Cork team going forward as well.
Absolutely, Cork extremely impressive. Mike.
Thanks, Shane. Well, there you heard the voice of JJ Delaney, and Nicky just picking up on one of the points he made there. When Cork hurl with this sort of confidence, when they get Dublin, or the likes of Dublin where they are right now, they're a different animal completely from what we saw last weekend.
Yeah, because now they're really in their groove. They're hitting the ball short to one another, creating space, but it's all based on much increased work rate, and they're putting the Dublin backs under pressure all the time when they're coming out with the ball. So that's the key change for Cork this week.
So we're off and running again. Matty Kenny is getting ready to bring in Mark Shute from Coola, but not just yet. Here's Danny Sutcliffe. Started this game like a house on fire. Back to Donald Burke. And this time, Burke misses from long range. And now Mark Shute will join the Dublin forward line. Well, they ran up such a big score in defeat against Kilkenny last weekend. In fact, 453 Dublin scored in their first 2 matches. But Cork obviously did their homework, studied the tape, and shut down most, if not all, of their threats in this game tonight, as Conor Lehan joins the Cork forward line, and it's Declan Dalton who's taken out. And Declan Dalton can reflect, Nicky, on a job well done.
Yeah, good goal, and you know he was combative all night and got his blocks and hooks in and worked hard. And this game now will suit Lahan. There's plenty of room, and he's likely to pick up 2 or 3 points. And Dublin, you know, with Shute coming in now, much more Route 1 type of a forward line they have on the field at the moment. So, as JJ said at the water break, they need goals, but they're going to have to come quickly.
That miss, by the way, just a moment ago by Donald Burke was just Dublin's 3rd wide of the match, and they've all come from the corner forward. So it's not as if they've put this game away, they just simply haven't had the scoring chances. Shute looking to pop it through to Sutcliffe, but so little movement ahead of the Dublin substitute there, Mark Shute. Easy for Downey. And Cork now playing this game at their own pace. They have 1:17 from play on the board already. Coleman, man breaking to his left at pace is Bill Cooper. Nobody at home in the Dublin backline. They're hunting a goal here. That's Kingston, and that's away for a 65.
Bill Cooper did an awful lot right there, but his pass at the end was probably just a bit hard. His first touch was unbelievable with one hand to take the crossfield ball initially. It was worth watching again. It's an unbelievable take by Cooper. Ran on goal, and you know he had a great chance to set up Shane Kingston, but overhit the pass.
Good tracking.
Don't forget more live GA action coming up this evening on Sky Sports Mix. The Leinster Football Championship quarter-final. It's the 5 in a row All-Ireland champions Dublin against Westmeath. That's live from Portleaf, starting at 6:15. Here's the first 65 of the night here in Thurles, and you really could set your watch to Patrick Horgan. 5 points for the Cork captain.
Yeah, and Cork starting to ease out now into an 8-point lead and looking more and more comfortable.
That's a spectacular take by Tim O'Mahony from Newtown Shandrum. Forward into the Cork forward line. Everybody wants a piece of it. Cooper, lovely reverse pass out towards Kingston, and there was a follow through on Cooper, and that's a free against Dublin. Well, he's such a dynamic midfielder, Bill Cooper.
Yeah, and he great vision there. He had the ball gone away so quickly, and a bit of frustration from Owen O'Donnell comes in with a late challenge, but watch how quickly he had the ball flicked out to either Meade or Shane Kingston. Probably Meade was in a better position.
He's got 3 Munster Championship medals, Bill Cooper. The prospect of a 4th gone for 2020, of course, after that defeat to Waterford last weekend. But they're still in the hunt for an All-Ireland. 15 years since their last, as Horgan drills that over nice and easy. And the Cork lead now out to 9 points. Less than a quarter of an hour of normal time to play. Conor Burke, he's going to shoot for his own score, and that is the first wide from a Dublin player other than Donald Burke. Just 4 misses in the game.
Yeah, and as we've said earlier on, their scoring rate just isn't strong enough tonight. 15 points and 5 or 6 wides is, after 56 minutes, is way down on what the modern game requires.
Conor Lahan there, hit hard by Mark Shute, bringing a bit of bite around that middle third, but the delivery was not what Liam Rush was looking for. And that Dublin attack petered out very quickly.
Yeah, Dublin are becoming more and more ragged as the game goes on, and you know, wides and passes going astray, so they really need to get a grip of it.
So Nash with the puck out. Popped up nicely there for Danny Sutcliffe, who didn't have a whole lot to do. Just happened to find himself in the right place at the right time. Hearing onto this is Davy Keogh. Booted out to Conor Burke, and Conor Burke will take that with both hands.
Yeah, good work from Liam Rush to hold the ball there and be able to move it out with his leg to Conor Burke.
Scored twice against Laois a couple of weeks ago, Conor Burke, so that's his 3rd point in senior championship. as Cork try to build from the back. Well taken by Seamie Harnedy, the two-time All-Star. Very strong in the air when he's on his game, when he's in the mood. And Dublin have struggled to get to grips with him all day long.
Certainly playing a lot better than he did last week. And great take there in front of Sean Moore. Good ball by MacDonald, and then Seamie Harnedy is happy to get the free. Wasted a bit of time here, and Patrick Horgan to take it every chance he's going to score him just from here in front of the sideline.
Patrick Horgan, who did a lot of work with the former New Zealand rugby player Doug Howlett a couple of seasons ago when he was part of the Cork setup, and Horgan puts a lot of his success in recent years down to that relationship. And the way he's striking frees in this second half, it looks like he's brought his A game as well tonight.
Yeah, you can hear by the sound of the strike. It was just clean strike and straight over.
A rare error as Cork tried to come out there, left behind by Lahan, pounced on by Sutcliffe, and Danny Sutcliffe finishes that nice and neatly.
Danny Sutcliffe is really trying his best for Dublin. He's putting himself about. He's soloing into the Cork defence with it, and he's getting his scores when the opportunity arises. And by far the best player Dublin have tonight is Danny Sutcliffe. 3
points now for the man from St. Jude's, Rian McBride, and Kingston chasing after them. That was a nice flicked pick-up by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Line ball to Cork again.
Yeah, and again, Shane Kingston, Luke Meade, all working very hard. Dublin subs not happy with the amount of time that the Cork players are taking line balls, and Patrick Horgan's free.
Mark Coleman there certainly squeezing every last second out of that sideline cut. Works its way through to Jack O'Connor, and now all 6 of the Cork forwards have scored. That's a first of the night for the corner forward from SARS.
Yeah, he's been very impressive, Jack O'Connor, last week against Waterford when he came onto a losing team, and tonight just shown lovely skill and very, very fast.
Delivery cut out there by Sean Moran, one of the second half Dublin substitutes. That was a real hospital pass, and Horgan releases Harnedy. Refereeing is playing an advantage. Harnedy shoots and scores. 5 points for the man from St. Eata's now.
As you say, a real hospital pass though from Sean Moran coming out with the ball. He had to go forward and get it up the field and just put it straight to Harnedy. Really an easy score for Cork.
So the Cork lead now out to 10 points, less than 10 minutes still to play. Luke Meade. It's all one-way traffic now. Meade to Kingston. He's got one man up with him. Kingston goes it alone, and he is taken down and free out for overcarrying. Well, that did look on first glance like a foul by Paddy Smith on Shane Kingston. John Keenan has seen it the other way.
Yeah, well, unless he overcarried it, but Paddy Smith certainly fouled him. So here he's bringing it in. 1, 2, 3. Don't know, Paddy Smith really kind of goes to chop him at the legs, look. Certainly has to be a free in.
I think, Nicky, you'd have expected to get that back in your day, to be fair.
That was certainly a free, but that shows the intent of Cork though. Shane Kingston, even though they're well in front 10 points, he was actually going for goal there, and that's much more different and much better than they were last week.
Dara Gray from Whitehall, Columkill, cuts it in towards Rush. Crummy was in after it as well, but easy for Tim O'Mahony. Gets it clear, and Luke Meade will try and release Patrick Horgan. This is Paddy Smith lofting it in, inviting the run of Crummy. outnumbered. Break falls to Davy Keogh. Keogh uses his pace to get away from the cover, and that's a nice score from the Dublin substitute, Davy Keogh.
Did well because there was a lot of pressure on him from the Cork defence there, and he was able to get a good first touch and create a bit of space for him. But you know, it's Cork are well on top here, and Dublin are going to need goals, and they haven't created any chance really in the second half.
Kieran Kingston pondering his next move. Rob Downey is the Cork player there who looked initially like he might need attention, then decides the better of it. Game has restarted. Paddy Smith still trying to keep the shoulder to the wheel back there. Horgan, loose pass. It's starting now to get a little ragged, especially out around that middle third. Sutcliffe links with Conor Burke. Once more, Dublin go long and direct. Rush is in there, Crummy too. Owen O'Donnell has also joined the Dublin attack. Crummy under pressure and just couldn't get it under control. And once again, it's that man, Mark Coleman, gets it down as far as Horgan. Fancies his chances, standing on the halfway line. And that is away out to the right for a 9th wide from Cork.
All too easy for Cork. They're in acres of space. And watch this again.
Poor puck out from Nolan, intercepted by Harnedy. Jack O'Connor's in, and Nolan makes the save. Danger still not cleared. Harnedy and Nolan with a second stop to deny Cork a second goal.
That's absolutely brilliant from Alan Nolan. 2 outstanding saves.
Well, Dublin's experienced goalkeeper, a Leinster Championship winner back in 2013, pays his way with 2 great saves to deny O'Connor, and then Harnedy, as up at the other end, Chris Crummey's perseverance pays off, and it's a free in. So less than 5 minutes to go, and let's hear again from JJ Delaney.
Yeah, I think Kieran Kingston will be delighted with this second half as well. Since the last water break, Dublin's after pushing up the sweep as well, and they're going for it. But look, they're very, very predictable. They're high balls in, but the Cork backs are just swarming it. When you know a team is going to look for try and get a goal, it's very easy to defend it there as well. But look, a massive performance from this Cork team, and Kieran Kingston will be absolutely delighted with this.
Thanks, JJ. Number 23, Aidan Welsh from Kanturk is in as Moran goes low and blocked away by Anthony Nash. Well, he had no other option there, Sean Moran. He had to go for it, and he did. Second bite for Dublin, and they get the point. Donald Burke, after Moran was denied by Nash.
Yeah, Sean Moran has got a lot of goals, some frees, important ones for Cool over the years, and he's a very good shot. But Nash stood up and did his bit for Cork after Alan Nolan down at the other side being superb for Dublin.
Well, here comes Conal Keeney, man who made his senior championship debut back in 2001. So he gets to play between football and hurling in his 20th successive championship season. But his arrival coming very late in the day. Dublin hunting the goals they need now to put the pressure on Cork. Conor Burke, it will be a free in, so Dublin will get the shot at goal, but Dublin's very own bionic man, Conal Keeney, in for the last few minutes.
So now you have Keeney, Rush and Crummy in the full forward line, so it's clear what Dublin are going to do. They're going to lob the ball in high there. Actually, Keeney did well to get on it there, actually, and if he had turned the other way, Donald Burke had got free.
Donald Burke makes no mistake. That's now 10 points for the Dublin free takers, 7 between them, as Cork decide to make another change, and they're bringing in Niall O'Leary from Castle Lions, and the man who's coming out is Rob Downey, the centre-back. Looks to be just walking off a little gingerly there, Rob Downey. Kieran Kingston, I think, not wanting to take too many chances ahead of the qualifiers next weekend. Cork not home and hosed here just yet, but almost there, as Tim O'Mahony takes on the shot. And this time Dublin managed to get off the hook.
Tim Mahoney did very well to control the pass, and Patrick Horgan there was coming at him at pace.
So Alan Nolan with the restart for Dublin. Sutcliffe moves in underneath it. Keeney looking to put pressure on Coleman, and Keeney does just that. Gets his frame in the way to make the block. Here's Crummy. Dublin now committing more players forward. Ball popped out from Crummy to Sean Moran, and Sean Moran really should have scored.
Yeah, that's three wides they've had on that side, and you know they're still they're 7 down. If they had scored those couple of points, they would have put themselves in a much better position.
That's a brilliant catch by Robbie O'Flynn, and he was under pressure and he was leaning forward, and he still managed to hang on to the ball and win the free. He has had some game.
He's been outstanding, and you know he's been out of it a little bit in the last 5 or 6 minutes, but he has covered some ground. As you can see, he's struggling a bit with cramp here now, but it's not surprising because he's covered every blade of grass in Thurles and been outstanding all night.
Well, no major surprise to see that Robbie O'Flynn is suffering a little with cramp, as Horgan gets in some target practice, knows this place like the back of his hand, and that's now 8 points for Cork's all-time leading championship scorer. Well, we're heading towards additional time. We're hearing we'll have at least 5 minutes of that. So 5 minutes for Dublin to try and make some headway. That's Davy Keogh looking for his second. And it is another wide out on that right-hand side.
Yes, all their wides have been on to the right-hand side of the post, but again, pressure from Cork. Dublin are not getting the space that the Cork forwards are at the other side.
Chance here for the Cork substitute to get a touch, Aidan Walsh.
Dublin need to just get this in around the square as quick as they can.
Sean Moran from Coola does just that, but he put too much on it, and it was just too long for Keeney, who's just having a quick word there with Anthony Nash as they separated from each other on the way out.
And that's a real waste from Sean Moran.
Well, they have seen that wide tally climb, Dublin, in the last 15 or 20 minutes. They're up to 8 now. And there have been a few bad ones thrown in there, as the Cork midfielder Luke Meade just needs to be attended to. And all of this suits Cork down to the ground.
Yeah, and much like Robbie O'Flynn, Luke Meade has been outstanding as well, and you see Kieran Kingston in picture there. They'll be delighted with the changes. You know, it's rare that make 5 changes and they all work as well as they have done tonight for Cork.
So still plenty of clear daylight between the teams, as Bill Cooper, still going strong, the midfielder, races out to the new stand on the far side, but lost his footing.
Yeah, looks a lot fresher, Bill Cooper, than he did against Waterford. You know, he was a bit laboured in his running in the second half against Waterford, but you see there, fresh there.
Well, possession given away initially by Dublin, then they win it back again, and now they'll have a free and a chance for Donald Burke just to eat into the margin a little, or will he lob it in around the square?
They have no player in front of him inside around the square, as you can see, so he don't think he has any option to hit it over.
So Dublin take the point. 11 for Burke. The clock ticks down, and time running out for Matty Kenny and Dublin. Their championship ambitions hanging by a very, very thin thread right now. Remember, they haven't beaten Cork in the championship for 93 years. 8 straight defeats, the latest of them back in 2016 over at Porky Rin, but that was a much closer game, hanging in the balance for much longer. Cork have been in the driving seat here since the 7th minute, and really since Declan Dalton crashed in the goal in the 9th.
Yeah, it's been hard to see any other result other than the Cork victory.
One here for Jack O'Connor to chase. He has Paddy Smith for company, and that was very well done by Smith. Held off the forward, lifted it, feeds Conor Burke. Burke with a huge effort from just inside his own half, but that's wide as well, and these are wides that Dublin cannot afford as Cork decide to take a look at Shane Barrett from Blarney. This his senior championship debut, and he's in for the last few minutes.
Yeah, and Jack O'Connor coming off, and he'll be very happy with his performance today. And just going back to that previous wide from Conor Burke, really it's very, very ragged, because points are no good to Dublin at this stage. They need to get the ball in around that big full forward line that they have, and whatever chance they have, it's to get goals.
Well, Cork outscoring Dublin in this second half so far by 12 points to 11. That's a fine take inside by Rush to Crummy. Goal chance, flies over. Chris Crummy hit it with everything he had, and it whistles over Nash's crossbar.
Yeah, you see, they are capable of winning the ball in there, and that's why the last couple of wides have been really a waste for Dublin.
Well, that point now from Crummy means that the teams have shared 24 points evenly between them since half-time. It hasn't felt like that at times, but that's the way it's played out, as Dublin went too close to the line. In fact, Owen O'Donnell has stepped over it, and we're now into the dying seconds here at Semple Stadium. And there was talk, Nicky, all week of soul searching in the Cork camp, and to be fair, they've given their answer tonight.
Yeah, they really were questioned, and they have come out tonight. First of all, they've worked very, very hard from the word go. The changes that the management team made have worked spectacularly well. Robbie O'Flynn, Jack O'Connor both coming into the team. Luke Meade outstanding around the middle of the field, and Colm Spillane very, very good at full back. So they look much more solid this week, and the match has brought them on. The likes of Harnedy, Cooper, they've all improved, and Cork are in good shape going into round 2 of the qualifiers next week.
Well, you could see there in the replay, Owen O'Donnell has tried might and main to get Dublin firing, to carry the fight to Cork all through the game, but it just hasn't happened for him or for Dublin. Nice pop pass there by Rush to create the opening. Cork now have dropped bodies back just to make sure, and the final whistle sounds. Well, Cork live to fight another day. They have bounced back from last weekend's defeat to Waterford, and it's they who drive on to the next round of the All-Ireland qualifiers next weekend. Kieran Kingston and his team still standing, but Dublin's championship adventure has come to an end.
And as you said earlier on, from the moment Declan Dalton got that early goal, that Dublin looked to be under pressure from the word go. Their scoring rate just wasn't enough. You see Matty Kenny very disappointed with the display. They'd have felt maybe they were coming into it with a bit of momentum after the Kilkenny match, but it wasn't to be. And Cork would be much the happier. Kieran Kingston would be delighted with the work rate all through. Even if you see the very last ball that Denny Sutcliffe got on there, Conor Lehane, who was introduced as a sub by Cork, came on and got a bit of a hook on him to stop him delivering the ball in, and that was, that's totally different to the attitude they had last week. So Cork's work rate and attitude very good tonight, and when they get playing with confidence like they did then in the second half, then they're a much better outfit.
So for the second game in a row, Mark Coleman has the most possessions for a Cork player, an incredible 30 tonight, as Cork and Dublin go their separate ways. It's finished here at Semple Stadium. Cork 125, Dublin 22 points.
Yeah, rejuvenated Cork display there, Ollie. I mean, what can we say about Cork? Like, lots of brilliant things to say about them, and Kieran Kingston, I'm a very happy man after that. What impressed you about the performance this evening?
Yeah, very impressive from Cork today or tonight, and it's like Nicky said there, for the changes that were made on that Cork team, for everybody to really play well and really contribute to the team, that was the most pleasing thing for Kieran Kingston, I think, and his backroom team. Sometimes you make changes and you're hoping that they'll make a difference, but definitely the likes of Luke Meade, Robbie O'Flynn around the middle of the field, Declan Dalton, Jack O'Connor got on the scoreboard as well at the end. Colm Spillane came in the back line and really seemed to make things more solid back there. So really pleasing for Kieran Kingston when he looks out at that team today. He brought on Aidan Welsh there as well at one stage, so a couple of guys to come off the bench as well. We've a couple of clips here. I think that's Robbie O'Flynn. He finished tonight with 9 points, and he did so much work around the middle of the field. As Nicky said in the commentary, he covered every blade of grass. Now here we see Seamus Harnedy, and again you have to question the space that he's allowed. A guy of the ability of Seamus Harnedy to be allowed that 20 or 30 metres. And Seamus Harnedy had an excellent game tonight as well. Another ball that came in kind of came through. Came through with a couple of Dublin players there. They'll be disappointed with that from a defensive point of view. And then that was the one where Jack O'Connor got on the score sheet as well. So Cork looking out this evening. Work rate was better, the energy was better. Mark Coleman exceptional as a sweeper, got on so much ball, as the lads said, and very, very pleasing for Cork tonight. Yeah.
And what about Dublin there? I mean, it was very disappointing for them. I suppose after last weekend's display, they felt that they would have momentum coming into this game, as Nicky and Mike were saying. So what went wrong for them for today?
They just couldn't get to the pitch of the game this evening. Cork really, I think, outfought them in the middle of the park. They did create some chances in the second half when they really needed scores, and on a couple of occasions here they did some good work, and then the delivery into the forwards was really lacking, and that's a very, very poor wide there. So they did create maybe 4 or 5 decent chances in the second half, but unfortunately their shooting let them down this evening. They clocked up some good scores against Laois and against Kilkenny last week, but unfortunately when they needed them scores to kind of keep them in touch with Cork in that second half, they were let down, I think, with their shooting. But again, it's up to Cork. From Cork's point of view, there was pressure on there as well, and that contributed to Dublin failing on a lot of fronts this evening. But you'll have to say, looking at the teams this evening, Cork won in every line of the field really, and great display from Cork.
Okay, well, another man who is watching that eagerly and has some clips to show us is James O'Connor.
Yeah, and I think Ollie hit the nail on the head really, Grania, to be honest about it, in terms of Dublin's use of the ball in the second half. Now, Chris Crummey, we spoke about him before the game and the way that he really needed to perform for Dublin to have a chance, and they put him inside on the inside line, hoping to get him into the play a little bit more. But big problem, I think, for him was Mark Coleman was sitting back as a sweeper, drifting across that line all night, and that made life difficult for Crummey. Now he does well, there's not a whole lot else on, backs himself, and that's a good score. But they just couldn't seem to get Sutcliffe and Crummey on the ball often enough in these situations. Now again, Crummey, there's a ball into space. He's having to kind of work very, very hard for these possessions. There's Mark Coleman again, ready to drift back, get between Crummey and the goal, and deny Dublin, I suppose, really anything other than maybe a point. And Crummey again having to work very, very hard for it under pressure. That's a really good score off his back foot. But Dublin really failing, I suppose, to get the required service into Crummey and the Dublin inside forwards, and they paid the price for it. Now, from a Cork perspective, I think really. We identified this before the game, that their lack of work rate, the lack of energy in the team last week. And Declan Dalton, I think, here at the start of the second half, that's his man. A pass has been slipped off, but he's going to keep, chasing the defender out, and gets a great little flick in here to dispossess the Dublin defender. And it's into Seamus Harnedy, and a lovely little pass into Shane Kingston and over the bar. And all night long, I suppose one of the big differences in Cork last week was the players gave the ball to the player in the better position. Now again, no aimlessness from Colm Spillane. Patrick Horgan has it. He's got Luke Meade coming off the shoulder. He's coming into that space. Now, the pass goes a little bit too far in front of him, but watch Horgan. He's going to loop around, and Seamus Harnedy, lovely little pop pass to Horgan, into the hand there, and another easy score. And we saw some beautiful scores from Cork tonight, where players, took the right decision, gave the pass to the man that was better placed, and that was reflected on the scoreboard. So, a lot of positives for Cork, and what a difference a week makes, Grania. They'll be, feeling an awful lot better about themselves tonight than they did last Saturday. And, no fear of Wexford, Clare, Tipperary. After that performance, they'll fancy themselves if they can reproduce it in 7 days' time.
Okay, Jamesy. Well, let's head back to Semple Stadium and to get the thoughts on JJ Delaney. And also, JJ, who did you pick as your Board Gosh Energy Man of the Match?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a complete performance from this Cork team, and as James, you said, they answered every question that they had there during the week as well. But my board gosh energy man in the match is Robbie Flynn. He scored 5 points from play, but what he brought to the team was work rate, a phenomenal work rate. I was watching him in the second half. He was sideline to sideline looking for puck outs. He was just brought a huge amount of energy to this Cork team, and scoring 5 points from play. I think Robbie Flynn, a definitely worthy man in the match.
He was speaking with Shane Dawson.
Robbie, congratulations. You are today's Board Gosh Energy Man of the Match. A superb performance from yourself. Obviously, you missed last week due to suspension. I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to get some minutes under the belt.
Yeah, definitely. It was obviously disappointing to be watching at home. It was kind of surreal, but yeah, it just kind of made me probably push on a bit more now today. And I was just delighted to be out there in Thurles. It's a great pitch, and in the condition that it's in now as well at this time of year, it's just great to be out there.
Fair to say Cork underperformed last week. As a team, did you feel a bit of extra pressure going into today?
Yeah, I suppose we did, but we always have to try just keep ourselves to ourselves and kind of keep the outside out at times. So the thing is never to get too high or never to get too low. We won't be too high after this game, and we weren't too low after the other, so stay kind of level-minded and just kind of play on to the next one, next training session, yeah.
And personally, 5 points today. Could you believe the space you found yourself in?
Yeah, I know at times it opened up. Obviously, delivery from the boys like Coleman, Demo, they just look and their heads up hurling all the time, and that's what you want to play with. It's great stuff. Yeah.
Some free-flowing scores from yourself and from your teammates as well. Will the manner of this victory give you a great sense of belief, considering it is a condensed championship and you'll be back out again next weekend?
Of course, yeah. We just have to focus on recovery now and stuff like that. But yeah, you can't. It will give you a boost. Definitely, it's exactly what we needed, and we'll be delighted now.
Well done today.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Well done to Robbie, indeed. And Ali, it's hard to argue with that selection for man of the match.
Yeah, and look, he had a great performance, and he missed last week. In fairness, he probably would have been on the team, and he repaid the management team for putting him out there in the middle of the park. Great attitude from him as well, and I think maybe in GA circles you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. So sometimes it's a good attitude to have. I think he made reference there that we have to keep ourselves to ourselves, and maybe they went into their own. There was a lot of criticism out there following that defeat to Waterford last week, but they obviously just concentrated on their own game, got themselves set up for tonight and came out tonight. So as he said, he won't be too high, but I'm sure they're looking forward to next weekend again.
And before I let you go, just in terms of that performance, how and where does that set them up going into next weekend's round 2 qualifier game?
As Jamesy said, when Cork get into that flow and when they get into that groove, they're a confidence team, and when things are going well for them, they can do some amazing things on the field. So they're not going to fear anybody, whoever comes out of the hat on Monday for next weekend's game. But the only thing is, recovery is going to be important now, because when you go through the qualifiers, you're playing week in, week out. So it is going to be testing schedule for these guys. So it's important now to get the recovery. But they won't fear anybody, I think, next weekend, whoever they're drawn against.
They will not, indeed. And it's great that they're there, of course, from a Cork viewpoint. My thanks to Ali and Jamesy for being with us this afternoon. But we're going to take a short break now. Cork are back in the race for the